Angel Reese came back to Chicago like a big baby with unfinished business. Not a cute little reunion, not a soft little homecoming. More like, hey, remember me? Yeah, I still rebound everything, and that was the whole problem.
She's coming back to haunt them. Angel Reese returns to Chicago, and the sky should be terrified. Let me tell you something. There are moments in professional sports that feel bigger than a box score. Moments that carry weight, emotional, historical, deeply personal weight that no stat line can fully capture. Tuesday night in Chicago is going to be one of those moments, because Angel Reese, the Bayou Barbie herself, the woman who broke the WNBA's all-time single-season rebounding record, wearing a Chicago Sky jersey, is walking back into that building. Except this time, she's wearing different colors. And if you think for even 1 second that this is just another regular season game, you clearly have not been paying attention to the Angel Reese story. This is not just a basketball game. This is a homecoming, a statement, a reckoning. And depending on how Tuesday night unfolds, it could be the most talked about moment of the entire 2025 WNBA season. Let's rewind to understand exactly how we got here, because the full picture of this situation is genuinely extraordinary. Angel Reese came into the WNBA in 2024 as the 7th overall pick, drafted by the Chicago Sky straight out of LSU, where she had already built herself into one of the most recognizable names in women's college basketball. She arrived in Chicago with the kind of hype that would have buckled a lesser competitor. The city expected a lot. The league expected a lot. And Angel Reese? She did not just meet expectations. She absolutely obliterated them. In her rookie season, Reese set the WNBA's single-season rebounding record, pulling down an almost incomprehensible 446 boards across the year. That's 13.1 rebounds per game for those keeping score at home. That number is not a typo. That is not an error. That is a 6'4" force of nature from Baltimore doing things on a professional basketball court that had never been done before in the history of this league. And if that wasn't enough, she also became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach the combined 500 points and 500 rebounds milestone, surpassing a pace set by the legendary Tina Charles. She did all of this as a rookie, as a 22-year-old, in her very first professional season. And then, as if she needed another entry in the record books, she became just the 4th player in either the NBA or the WNBA. Let that sink in, either league, to record 50 double-doubles within their first 75 professional games. She joined a rarefied tier of talent that transcends gender and generation. The woman was not just good, she was historic. So naturally, the Chicago Sky traded her. Yes, you heard that correctly. This spring, the Sky sent Angel Reese to the Atlanta Dream in exchange for a pair of first-round draft picks. The reasoning behind the trade? The front office calculus, the strategic vision. That's a conversation for another day. But what cannot be argued, what cannot be spun or redefined or explained away, is the outcome of that decision as it stands right now in June of 2025. The Chicago Sky sit at 4 wins and 7 losses. The Atlanta Dream, Angel Reese's new home, are 7 wins and 3 losses. The team that traded away one of the most dominant young players in the league is struggling. The team that received her is thriving. You genuinely cannot make this stuff up. And here's the part that makes Tuesday night feel like something out of a Hollywood script. The Dream are coming to Chicago. Angel Reese is going back to the city, back to the building, back to face the franchise that let her walk. If you have not already marked this game on your calendar, stop what you are doing right now and do exactly that. Now let's talk about what Angel Reese looks like in Atlanta. Because the narrative of her struggling to adapt or needing time to find her footing simply has not materialized. If anything, she looks liberated. Under head coach Carl Smesko in his 2nd season with the Dream, Reese is averaging 13.3 points per game, 3.1 assists, which is a remarkable number for a power forward, 1.3 steals, and a league-leading 11.7 rebounds per game. League-leading. She is still the best rebounder in the WNBA. She took her dominance on the glass from Chicago, packed it up, moved it to Atlanta, and kept right on going as if nothing changed. What has changed, though, is the environment around her. Reese has spoken openly about her relationship with Coach Smesko, and the warmth and clarity with which she describes it tells you everything about where her head is right now. She talked about what it means to play for someone who works specifically with you, someone who trusts you and believes in you regardless of whether a shot falls or doesn't. She mentioned that Smesko told her from the very beginning to be patient, to give herself grace. And that philosophy has clearly seeped into how she plays. There is a calm about Angel Reese in Atlanta that feels new, a settled confidence. A player who knows exactly who she is and exactly what she is capable of, performing within a system that celebrates those capabilities rather than complicating them. The Dream as a whole are a fascinating team to watch right now. They lead the entire WNBA in steals at 9.4 per game and in offensive rebounds at 11.4 per game. Those are not coincidences. Those are the fingerprints of a team that plays with relentless energy, that values possessions, that wins the hustle battles that don't show up in highlight reels but absolutely determine outcomes. Alicia Gray leads Atlanta in scoring with 19.7 points per game. And the combination of Gray's offensive firepower and Reese's interior dominance gives the Dream a genuinely dangerous two-pronged attack that opponents have struggled to neutralize all season. Now shift your eyes to the other side of this story because the situation in Chicago is not pretty. And understanding just how difficult things have gotten for the Sky makes Tuesday night's matchup even more emotionally charged. The Sky made a significant move this spring, acquiring Rickea Jackson from the Los Angeles Sparks in what was widely described as a blockbuster deal, sending Ariel Atkins to Los Angeles in the process. Jackson was supposed to be the piece that elevated Chicago into genuine contention. She started her Sky tenure on fire. The team went 3 wins and 1 loss with her in the lineup, and suddenly there was real optimism swirling around a franchise that desperately needed it. And then Jackson's knee gave out, and everything unraveled. Since losing Jackson to a season-ending knee injury, the Sky have gone 1 win and 6 losses. They were 3-1. They are now 4-7. The trajectory is not hard to read. A team built around a player who is now watching from the sidelines, trying to find its identity, trying to manufacture wins without the offensive engine that was supposed to drive them forward. It is a genuinely difficult situation, and the frustration inside that locker room is clearly boiling over. Skylar Diggins has been many things in her WNBA career: a superstar, a fan favorite, an activist, a leader. This is her first season with the Sky, and after a gut-wrenching 8-5, 6-8 loss to the Toronto Tempo, she did not mince words. She called out the team's lack of maturity and leadership, both on and off the floor, and extended that critique to the staff as well. She described the experience as extremely frustrating. Those are not the words of a player who has accepted mediocrity. Those are the words of a competitor who has standards and is watching those standards go unmet night after night. You have to respect the honesty, even if it's painful to hear. Diggins herself has been one of the few bright spots, averaging 14.4 points and 4.7 assists per game in her debut season in Chicago. But basketball is a team sport, and individual excellence only carries you so far when the structure around you is crumbling. The Sky ranked dead last in the entire WNBA in rebounding rate at 45.7%. Dead last. They are also second to last in three-point shooting, connecting on a meager 26.3% from beyond the arc. When you cannot rebound and you cannot shoot from distance, winning basketball games becomes an enormous challenge, and the standings reflect exactly that reality. And now into this storm walks Angel Reese. Think about what this game represents symbolically for everyone involved. For Reese, it is the chance to step back into the house she helped build and show the people who traded her away exactly what they gave up. There is no world in which she is not supremely motivated for this game. She has been gracious in interviews talking about being happy with the Dream, focusing on the positive energy in Atlanta. And all of that is genuine. But she is also a competitor at the absolute highest level. She is someone who has used doubt and dismissal as fuel her entire career. Walking back into Chicago is going to ignite something in her that no regular season game against a neutral opponent ever could. For the Sky, this is a nightmare scenario in terms of optics. You traded away a franchise cornerstone who just set the league's all-time rebounding record. Now she's coming back to your building, playing for a team that's 3 games better than yours, leading the league in rebounding, looking like the best version of herself. And your team is dead last in rebounding rate. The narrative writes itself, and it is not a flattering one for Chicago's front office. For the fans in Chicago, this is going to be a genuinely complicated emotional experience. Angel Reese gave them something real during her rookie season. She gave them records. She gave them highlights. She gave them reasons to show up and care about a franchise that has had its share of turbulent years. There will be fans in that building on Tuesday who are thrilled to see her and heartbroken that she's wearing someone else's jersey. There will be others who will cheer the Sky, root for an upset, hope to see their team prove the trade was worth it. And there will probably be a few who are just there to witness history because they understand that moments like this don't come along very often. There are also some notable absences worth flagging as we look ahead to Tuesday's matchup. For Atlanta, Brianna Jones remains sidelined with a knee injury, which limits some of the frontcourt depth the Dream would otherwise rely on. For Chicago, both DeJounte Carrington with a left foot issue and Courtney Vandersloot with a right knee problem are listed as out, further depleting a roster that is already operating well below full strength. These absences matter in the context of game planning, but they may also matter in another way. They clear the stage just a little bit more narrow the spotlight even further, and put even more of the narrative weight squarely on Angel Reese's shoulders, which, if her track record tells us anything at all, is exactly where she wants it. Let's talk about the bigger picture for a moment, because this game exists within a broader 2025 WNBA season that has been absolutely electric. The league is in the middle of what many people are calling a golden era. Unprecedented viewership, record attendance numbers at multiple franchises, young stars capturing mainstream attention in ways that were difficult to imagine even 5 years ago. The rise of players like Caitlin Clark, the continued dominance of Angel Wilson, the emergence of younger talents fighting for their place in the league's hierarchy. It all creates a backdrop that makes moments like Tuesday night in Chicago feel genuinely significant beyond the two teams involved. Angel Reese, specifically, has become one of the most compelling figures in that golden era narrative. She is outspoken and confident and unapologetically herself in a way that resonates deeply with a generation of fans who are tired of athletes performing humility they don't feel. She is on social media being exactly who she is, radiating that signature energy, her style, her personality, her joy, and millions of people connect with that authenticity. She is not just a basketball player. She is a brand, a movement, a cultural moment. And she is doing all of this while simultaneously being one of the 2 or 3 most statistically dominant players in the entire league. That combination is extraordinarily rare. The fact that she is now playing for a winning team, thriving under a coach who clearly understands how to deploy her gifts, averaging numbers that would make any front office in the league salivate. It all points in one direction. Angel Reese is not just surviving her first WNBA trade, she is flourishing because of it. And Chicago is left to watch that flourishing happen in real time, with their own struggles serving as the unavoidable counterpoint. Tuesday night is going to be something. It genuinely is. When Reese steps onto that court and the Chicago crowd reacts, whether with cheers or boos, or that complicated mixture of both, that only happens when a city sees someone they loved wearing rival colors. The energy in that building is going to be unlike anything we have seen yet this WNBA season. And when she grabs that first rebound, because she absolutely will, and the Dream begin to impose their will on a Sky team that ranks last in the league in rebounding, the story is going to tell itself. Some returns in professional sports are sentimental. Some are awkward. Some are triumphant. And some, the rare ones, the ones people talk about for years, are all 3 of those things at once, all tangled up together in a single game that somehow becomes a mirror for everything that came before it. This has the makings of one of those games. Angel Reese came to Chicago. She broke records. She was traded. She went to Atlanta, and she kept right on breaking records. And now she is going back to Chicago, 7 wins and 3 losses, league-leading rebounder, thriving under a coach who believes in her, ready to face the franchise that decided to move on. If that is not must-watch television, then nothing in sports is. Make sure you do not miss Tuesday night. Watch the game, watch Reese, watch how Chicago responds, watch how Atlanta plays, and then come back here to Champions Tennisetics. Yes, we cover the moments that matter across the entire sports landscape. And this one matters, and let us know in the comments what you think. Do you believe the Sky made the right call trading Angel Reese? Is Atlanta on their way to becoming a genuine championship contender? And what do you think Tuesday night's homecoming looks like when the final buzzer sounds? Drop your predictions below. We want to hear from you. And if you are new to this channel and you are watching this video because you wanted the full story on one of the biggest narratives in women's basketball right now, welcome. Hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and join the Champions Tennisetics family. We bring you the stories, the drama, the analysis, and the moments that make sports worth watching. We will see you in the next one.